Welcome to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where baking and emotions are the two most perfect ingredients. Hello and welcome to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where we get together and bake something yummy and talk about our emotions and just basically bake it out. So thank you for joining me today, and you can see that the title of, or the emotion that we're talking about while making our grilled cheese here is a little interesting. It's not your typical emotion, it's just something that I tried to kind of encapsulate how I was feeling. It's kind of hard to describe that feeling. So yeah, so it's kind of like that feeling of I just didn't know how to grasp it in a word. Sometimes we just feel like it's like that feeling. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Breakfast grilled cheese is on the menu. Breakfast grilled cheese is something that I came up with on my own. So there's no link to the recipe or anything like that. It is your basic, a grilled cheese where you have, find your favorite bread, whatever you like to use for grilled cheese. Sometimes I like to use a good French bread for grilled cheese or something that is a little bit hearty. Right now I just have my basic sandwich bread on hand. Go ahead and butter the bread. So just gonna butter the bread on both sides and, not both sides, sorry, one side. Well, you could do both sides if you really like butter. I don't know. And that's how we're gonna start. We're gonna start with that. Now, it's not, like I said, your typical grilled cheese. It's breakfast grilled cheese. So we're gonna put sweetness inside instead of cheese, but we are going to have a cheese. So I'm gonna use a cream cheese. You could use any type of, you could use soy cream cheese. I've done this with soy cream cheese. Tofutti, we love that one. It works. It all works. So, and a fruit that you like. I love it when I have fresh fruit. Love it. I love this with strawberries. I love this with blueberries. But on hand, I only have frozen. So we're going to make it work. So with the frozen fruit, I do need to thaw it a little bit because just doing a grilled cheese on the pan is not going to de-thaw it enough to be yummy, because it would be frozen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, so I have it here in my bowl, my frozen fruit and a dollop of cream cheese. I'm going to warm that up in the microwave here in a minute, and it'll help melt the cream cheese. I got to remember to cover that so it doesn't pop all over the place, and mix it up, and it'll be good to put into my grilled cheese. All right, so why the emotion this week? I have coffee right now. It is that time of day for coffee. So why am I feeling this emotion? I think you've been here to know all the woes of this house. If you've been here long enough to hear all the situations that we've had with our house, it just compiled a lot recently, very much compiled. And I got to the point where I went like this, and I just completely lost, I think I lost it a little bit. I lost it. So we've not only have we been going through roof leaks and pipe leaks and all that kind of stuff, for the past 2 months, and I think I've mentioned it on my previous podcast, we haven't had any air conditioning. Our air conditioner broke. The house is old. The air conditioner is probably 20, 30 years old, and we had been living without it okay because May wasn't so bad. May here, the weather wasn't actually too bad. And so we were living with it until we did get somebody to come and look, and the parts were coming and they were working and on getting it done, so we weren't too concerned. But then June hit, and the amount of heat that our area just all of a sudden manifested was insane. And the amount of fans we had, the amount of small little portable air conditioners that we had, we were using it all. And to say that I was getting frustrated, I don't know if you've ever lived without air conditioning in a heat wave in an old house before, but I literally felt like we were living in a sauna, and just like you can't sleep, you're sweaty, you can't get comfortable to go to bed, it was just too hard. My little went over to spend the night at his grandma's, and I slept in the basement, and so did kind of get away for a little bit, and I actually went away to a friend's house. So yeah, so tried to tried really hard to deal with it, but in the process of dealing with that stress of the headache of waiting for your air conditioner to be fixed, my beautiful farmhouse kitchen sink somehow started leaking. I mean, this is brand new. My kitchen is only like maybe 2 years old. And it started leaking underneath something, and we had to take out everything underneath. See, I'm going to get that talking about it, but all the things that were underneath the sink we had to take out, and we were not sure if the whole cabinet is ruined. But if you know a kitchen sink, a farmhouse sink, it's set and into a cabinet. The sink is, because it's not like your typical sit on top of a counter sink. It's recessed, and then the counter that was installed, this counter was installed over top of it. I really do not want to replace the whole sink. It is just the faucet system. The birds. It's just the faucet system, and so I'm hoping that can just be fixed. So that was a headache as well, and I was feeling so overwhelmed with it all. And then something else happened. I'll fill you in as soon as I warm up my fruit. Okay, so I've heated this up. It's not very pretty after you mix everything together. And it is a little bitter because of the, fresh fruit and stuff like that, and the cream cheese. I like to tone it down a little bit. I put a little vanilla. And then I'm just going to put a tad bit of sugar just to kind of sweeten it up. Just a little sprinkle. I'm going to mix this up. All right. There we go. So, the other thing that happened was I had 2 glass jars of a concoction that I had tried to come up with back, I think it was like last summer, where I was, I tried to make rose water and cucumber water, and I still had it in my refrigerator in these mason jars. And I just hadn't moved them, hadn't touched them, and I was trying to move them out of the way to kind of I think I was putting, just to make room to put, I think it was a dessert in there, I can't remember, and I hit the jars together, and one of the jars completely broke in my hand. The glass shattered all over the top shelf of the refrigerator, and it leaked everywhere, all the liquid leaked everywhere, all the way down my refrigerator. It went down my, on the shelves, in the cabinets, the drawers, everything. And to say I was frustrated and feeling this emotion that I'm feeling this week, was an understatement. I cleaned out my refrigerator almost in tears, because remember, it's hot. And And then this happened, and I had to throw away things because it literally, I don't know how it did it so fast. It leaked through and then just like leaked through things super fast. I had some muffins that I had covered, but because I didn't, this concoction had been there a while and I just didn't trust it. And so I was sad and frustrated, and I sobbed. I sobbed and cried, and I couldn't anymore. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. That emotion of pure and utter, this is it. I don't know if I can, like, and this wasn't like huge emotional heavy things. It was just the day-to-day little things that just happened, that just were building and building upon each other, and just I needed a break. I needed a break. So, I'm feeling lucky that I'm on the other side. We did get our air conditioner fixed. Yay! It's only been a day. So if I look maybe a little refreshed, it's because I had a very good night's sleep last night, because I slept in the chill of the air conditioner. And yeah. So to get this breakfast grilled cheese together, I'm gonna have my pan. I'm gonna put my bread down. I'm gonna put this slurry in between. The thing about this is that it's not like, regular cheese. The cheese is not going to bind to the bread so that you can flip it easily. It's going to just sit there. And so when you flip it, be careful. I've had moments where I flipped and it's oozed out. So just be a little careful, and I'll come back and we'll show you where we're at. Okay, so I've got it all done here. I always love using a pretty plate. I think it just makes breakfast more fun. I have a little extra. I'm gonna just put it on top. And I think it's also fun to add a little powdered sugar. Makes it look just pretty. We're gonna tap a little bit on, and there we go. We're gonna enjoy our breakfast. Also, this is definitely a dish you have to eat with a spoon. It's not a traditional grilled cheese where you can hold it and enjoy. This does get rather messy because again, it doesn't really stay together, but it hits a spot when you need a little something different for breakfast. So, trying to wrap up my conversation, not only in my head, but also if you are also experiencing these emotions of just the small day-to-day is piling up, and we need some sort of like light at the end of the tunnel. I will say I kept pushing for the day that the air conditioner was going to get fixed. I had it in my sights, and okay, if I can just make it to that day, I'll be okay. And of course, things kept happening all the way up until then, and I did not think that that was a good goal. I was just, oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Also, I had to think about my sanity in it all. And yes, while I did have a trip scheduled already with friends, I really tried to say, okay, I need to lean into this trip and to make sure that I do not think about things. Like, leave it at home, enjoy the trip, just enjoy being with your friends, and just what's happening at home and just kind of put it away, because you need to rejuvenate. You need to get it gone. So, and it came at the right time, because I did not think that I was going to make it to that day of the air conditioner being fixed. And then it was just like, okay, then the trip is going. And I said, all right. So literally the day after I got back was when the air conditioner got fixed. So it came at the exact right time, because I just did not feel like I was going to make it. So if you are also experiencing a situation in which you feel like piles of things are stacking and there's no light, or there's no, reprieve, feeling like, and I have to remind myself of this too, to just step away and take a mental, I did need a mental health break because it was bothering me so bad, and to take a break for yourself, and to step back. And I will say my husband and kids did the same thing while I was gone. They took a mini break. They went and saw some stuff. We do live in the Washington DC metro area, so they were able to go and go to some museums and stuff, and so they kind of got away and were able to kind of to step out of the norm, and to have a brain break, so to speak, from all of it. So I'm just glad that we both were able to get away for a little bit. You're not alone. If you are feeling overwhelmed and the things that are piling on, you are not alone. It has been a trying couple of weeks and months, I will say. So thank you for joining me in this discussion of, I can't do anything other than I can't do anything other than that. Just that was what I was feeling. So, and thank you for joining me for my breakfast grilled cheese. I hope you enjoy it. Super yummy. And yeah, so just remember, whether the salt in your recipes comes from tears or a teaspoon, we baked it out. Have a good one.